Weather Forecast Script, version 42,500 words. We are tracking a significant and dangerous multi-day winter weather event that is going to impact a large portion of the United States over the next several days, and this is something you need to be paying close attention to and preparing for starting right now. What we are looking at is a combination of dangerous cold, life-threatening wind chills, and multiple rounds of accumulating snow that together create a serious weather situation. This is not just a typical winter storm. This is the coldest air we have seen so far this season, combined with snow systems that are going to make travel hazardous across a massive area. This weather event is going to affect more than 60 million people from Montana eastward through the Dakotas, across the upper Midwest, through the Great Lakes region, and down into the Ohio Valley. We are looking at actual air temperatures that could drop as low as -30 degrees in the coldest locations. We are looking at wind chills that could reach -50 degrees, which is cold enough to cause frostbite on exposed skin in under 5 minutes. We are looking at snow, not from just one storm but from 2 separate clipper systems, with total accumulations potentially reaching 6 to 9 inches in the hardest-hit areas. This is a weather situation that requires serious preparation and careful planning. The timeline for this event begins this afternoon Thursday, December 11th, and continues all the way through Sunday morning, December 14th. The most critical and most dangerous time period is going to be Saturday night into Sunday morning, which is when we see the most extreme cold and the most dangerous wind chills. What that means for you is that you have a window of opportunity today, Thursday, and tomorrow Friday to prepare. These are your preparation days. This is your chance to get supplies, make plans, check your systems, and get ready for what is coming. In this complete forecast, I am going to give you all the information you need. I am going to walk you through the timeline so you know exactly when conditions are going to change in your area. I am going to break down the temperatures city by city so you can see what to expect where you live. I am going to give you the snowfall totals for your specific location. I am going to explain why the wind chills are so dangerous and what they mean for your safety. And I am going to give you specific, actionable steps you can take right now to protect yourself and your family. Let's get into the full details. As we stand here Thursday morning, we already have colder than normal temperatures across the northern portion of the United States. But what we are experiencing at this moment is nothing, absolutely nothing, compared to what is heading our way over the next several days. There is a large area of high pressure positioned over western Canada and Alaska, and that high pressure is associated with very cold Arctic air. Over the next 2 to 3 days, that high pressure system is going to sink southward and push that Arctic air mass down into the United States. When meteorologists look at the computer models and see this type of setup, we immediately recognize it as a classic Arctic outbreak pattern. At the same time that cold air mass is moving south, we have a series of low-pressure systems that are going to develop and track along the boundary between the cold air to the north and the warmer air to the south. These systems are called Alberta clippers, named after the Canadian province of Alberta where they often originate, and they get the name clippers because they move or clip very quickly across the country. These clipper systems tend to be relatively small and compact, but they can produce impressive amounts of snow in narrow bands, sometimes dropping 3 to 5 inches or more in just a few hours. What makes this particular weather event so significant and potentially dangerous is that we are dealing with multiple hazards all at the same time. First, we have the snow from these clippers, which is going to create slippery roads, reduced visibility, and difficult travel conditions. Second, we have the extreme cold air that moves in right behind the snow systems. Third, we have strong winds that create blowing and drifting snow even after the precipitation has ended. And fourth, we have those winds combining with the cold air to produce dangerous and potentially life-threatening wind chills. When you put all of these pieces together, you end up with a serious and significant weather event that people need to take very seriously and prepare for appropriately. Let me walk you through the complete timeline of this event in detail so you understand exactly when each component is going to affect your specific area. Having this timeline information helps you plan your activities and make smart decisions over the next 4 days. Starting this afternoon Thursday around 3:00 p.m., we have our first clipper system beginning to organize and produce snow across the northern plains states. Snow will begin to develop in South Dakota during the mid-afternoon hours. Bismarck, North Dakota will see snow starting to fall around 3:30 p.m. By 4:30 p.m., Thursday afternoon, that area of snow is spreading and intensifying as it moves eastward into Iowa. Sioux City, Iowa will start to see snow arriving around 5 p.m. By 6 p.m., Thursday evening, the snow is really starting to organize into a more defined band stretching from South Dakota through Iowa and into northern Illinois. Des Moines will be experiencing steady, moderate snow during this time. Cedar Rapids will have snow falling at a good clip. By 7 p.m., Thursday evening, we reach what I would call the first peak of intensity for this clipper. The heaviest snow during this specific time will be focused from eastern Iowa through central Illinois. Springfield, Illinois will be getting hammered with heavy snow around 7 p.m. Peoria will be right in the heart of the heaviest band. Bloomington, Illinois will see very heavy snow. Champaign will be dealing with significant snowfall. During this peak intensity period Thursday evening, snowfall rates could reach or even exceed 1 inch per hour in the most intense portions of the snowband. That is heavy enough to very quickly cover roads and make them slippery and hazardous. It is also heavy enough to significantly reduce visibility, making it difficult to see where you are going. If you live in this corridor from Iowa through Illinois, and you have plans to be out Thursday evening, you need to understand that driving conditions are going to go from being fine to being hazardous very, very quickly between about 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Thursday evening. By 9 p.m. Thursday night, that organized band of heavy snow shifts further eastward and begins to impact Indiana. Indianapolis will be experiencing its heaviest snowfall around 9 to 10 p.m. Thursday night. Fort Wayne will be in the moderate to heavy snow. Bloomington, Indiana will be getting hit. Terre Haute will see heavy snow. Moving further south, Louisville, Kentucky will start to see snow developing during this time frame, although the heaviest amounts with this system are going to stay a bit further to the north. As we move past midnight Thursday and into the early morning hours of Friday, the focus of the heaviest snow shifts further east into southern Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia. Cincinnati will experience its period of heaviest snowfall between roughly midnight and 3 a.m. Friday morning. Dayton will be dealing with steady accumulating snow through the overnight hours. Lexington, Kentucky will have moderate snowfall continuing through the night. Charleston, West Virginia will be seeing accumulating snow. Columbus, Ohio will have light to moderate snow during the overnight period. This overnight timing is important because it means that anyone who has to get up and go to work Friday morning in these areas is going to be dealing with snow-covered roads and potentially several inches of snow that will need to be cleared. By sunrise Friday morning around 7 a.m., the first clipper system is beginning to weaken and wind down. The heavy snow has ended across most areas, but light snow and flurries will continue across West Virginia and into Virginia during the Friday morning hours. The primary concern Friday morning becomes dealing with the snow that fell during the overnight hours. Roads are going to be snow-covered. Sidewalks will need to be shoveled. Parking lots will need to be plowed. Commuters need to plan for extra travel time. By early Friday afternoon around 1 p.m., the first clipper system has moved off the east coast and out to sea, and we have a break in the active weather. But this break is temporary and short-lived. While our first clipper is exiting, our second clipper system is already beginning to develop and organize across the northern Rocky Mountains. And here is the concerning part. This second clipper is going to track along almost exactly the same path as the first clipper, which means areas that received snow Thursday night are going to get hit again on Saturday with another round of accumulating snow. By Friday evening around 8 p.m., we already have snow developing and spreading across Montana from this second clipper system. Rapid City, South Dakota will see snow beginning to increase Friday evening into Friday night. Great Falls, Montana will be dealing with snow. This system is organizing and beginning its eastward march across the country. Now we advance to Saturday, and Saturday is when this second clipper system really gets cranked up and reaches peak intensity. Picture here is Saturday at 1 p.m. In the afternoon, we have another well-organized band of snow, this one potentially even more intense than the first clipper, stretching from Iowa through Illinois and Indiana and into Ohio. Des Moines gets hit again with another round of heavy snow, this time during the daytime hours Saturday. Chicago, which was positioned too far north to receive much snow from the first clipper, finally gets in on the action with accumulating snow from this second system. Indianapolis gets hammered again with another significant round of snow. Dayton gets another dose of accumulating snow. Columbus, Ohio, begins to see heavy snow developing Saturday afternoon. Fort Wayne gets hit again. The timing of this second clipper system is particularly problematic and concerning because it arrives on a Saturday afternoon, which is when a lot of people are typically out and active. People are out shopping at stores. People are traveling to visit family and friends. People are running errands and taking care of weekend activities. Roads that were clear and dry Saturday morning are going to become snow-covered and slippery very rapidly during the afternoon hours. Visibility is going to drop significantly in the heavy snow. Traffic is going to slow to a crawl. This is the time when we are most likely to see widespread problems and disruptions with travel. By Saturday evening around 7 p.m., this second clipper system continues its eastward and southward progression. The area of snow spreads into Pennsylvania and parts of Maryland. Pittsburgh will be dealing with accumulating snow Saturday evening. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania will see snow. Even areas that largely missed the first clipper system, including parts of West Virginia and western Maryland, could see several inches of accumulation from this second system. The second clipper actually appears to have a bit more moisture content available to work with, which means it has the potential to produce even higher snowfall totals than the first system, especially across areas east of the Ohio Valley. As we transition into Saturday night and approach Sunday morning, the snow from the second clipper finally begins to taper off and come to an end. But this is precisely when the second major component of this weather story takes center stage and becomes the dominant concern: the extreme cold. As that second clipper pulls away to the east Saturday night, the wind direction shifts to blow directly out of the northwest, and that allows the full force of the Arctic air mass to come flooding into the region. Saturday night into Sunday morning is when air temperatures absolutely plummet, and wind chills become dangerous and potentially life-threatening across a very large area. Now let's have a detailed discussion about the temperatures, because this is the aspect of this forecast that requires the most serious attention and the most thorough preparation. This is dangerous cold that we do not experience very often, even in the middle of winter in areas that are accustomed to harsh winter weather. Beginning with Friday morning December 12th, we already have cold air in place across the region. Minneapolis Friday morning will be around 5 degrees. Cold, certainly, but not extreme or dangerous yet. Fargo will be hovering near 0 degrees. Bismarck around -5 degrees. Moving southward, Chicago Friday morning will be around 15 degrees. Milwaukee around 10 degrees. Des Moines around 10 degrees. Indianapolis around 20 degrees. Cincinnati around 25 degrees. Louisville around 25 degrees. These are cold temperatures that are running below average for mid-December, but they are temperatures that people can handle and manage with appropriate winter clothing and common sense. Saturday morning December 13th, we see the cold intensify significantly and become more serious. Minneapolis Saturday morning drops to a dangerous -10 degrees. Fargo plunges down to -20 degrees. Bismarck hits -25 degrees. Duluth drops to -15 degrees. Sioux Falls, South Dakota, -20 degrees. Rapid City, -20 degrees. These are now dangerous actual air temperatures, where prolonged exposure of bare skin without proper protection can lead to frostbite developing within 30 minutes. Moving to areas further south, Chicago Saturday morning falls to near 0 degrees. Milwaukee drops to -5 degrees. Green Bay hits -10 degrees. Madison, Wisconsin, -10 degrees. Rockford, Illinois, -5 degrees. Indianapolis Saturday morning will be around 10 degrees. Fort Wayne around 5 degrees. Dayton around 10 degrees. Cincinnati around 15 degrees. Sunday morning December 14th is when we hit absolute rock bottom, the coldest point of this entire multi-day event. This is the morning that is going to be most dangerous and most potentially life-threatening for anyone who is unprepared or who underestimates the severity of the cold. Bismarck, North Dakota, could wake up to an extremely dangerous -30 degrees. I need you to truly understand and appreciate how cold that is. -30 degrees is actual air temperature, not wind chill. Fargo could see -25 degrees. Aberdeen, South Dakota, -25 degrees. Pierre, South Dakota, -25 degrees. Minneapolis could drop to -15 degrees. Duluth, -20 degrees. Sioux Falls, -20 degrees. Grand Forks, North Dakota, -25 degrees. International Falls, Minnesota, -25 degrees. These are extremely cold, life-threatening temperatures that are rare even for these northern locations that experience harsh winters every single year. Even in areas that are well removed from the core of the coldest air, temperatures are still going to be extreme and potentially dangerous. Des Moines Sunday morning could hit -15 degrees. Omaha, Nebraska, -10 degrees. Sioux City, Iowa, -15 degrees. Waterloo, Iowa, -15 degrees. Chicago, Sunday morning, around -10 degrees. Milwaukee, -10 degrees. Rockford, -10 degrees. Green Bay, -15 degrees. Madison, -15 degrees. We are looking at 0 degrees or colder reaching all the way down into central Indiana. Indianapolis could wake up to 0 degrees Sunday morning. Fort Wayne, 0 degrees. South Bend, Indiana, near 0 degrees. Bloomington, Indiana, near 0 degrees. Terre Haute, near 0. Moving even further south and east, Dayton, Ohio, could be around 5 degrees. Columbus, around 5 degrees. Cincinnati, around 10 degrees. Louisville, Kentucky, could be near 0 degrees Sunday morning. Evansville, Indiana, near 0. This cold reaches surprisingly far to the south with this particular outbreak. Nashville, Tennessee, could wake up to around 15 degrees Sunday morning. Paducah, Kentucky, around 5 degrees. Springfield, Missouri, around 5 degrees. Columbia, Missouri, around 0. Even Oklahoma City and Tulsa, Oklahoma, will be around 20 degrees, which is significantly below what is typical for mid-December in those southern locations. The only area in the eastern half of the United States that is going to feel anywhere close to normal Sunday morning is the very southern tip of Florida, where temperatures will still be in the comfortable 70s. But everyone else, from the Rocky Mountains eastward to the Atlantic coast, and from the Canadian border southward, all the way to the Gulf of Mexico, is going to be dealing with significantly below average, dangerously cold temperatures. The most extreme, most dangerous cold will be concentrated and focused across the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Iowa, but literally nobody east of the Rockies escapes this Arctic outbreak. Now, we absolutely must have a very serious conversation about wind chills, because this is where the cold transitions from being very uncomfortable to being genuinely dangerous and potentially life-threatening. Wind chill represents what the temperature actually feels like on your exposed skin when you factor in the cooling effect of the wind. Wind removes the thin, insulating layer of warm air that naturally surrounds your body, and it dramatically accelerates the rate at which your body loses heat to the surrounding environment. When you combine very cold air temperatures with moderate to strong winds, the resulting wind chill can be significantly colder than the actual air temperature alone, and it is that wind chill value that determines how rapidly frostbite can develop on any exposed skin. Saturday night into Sunday morning, we are going to experience truly dangerous and potentially life-threatening wind chills across the entire northern plains and upper Midwest region. Bismarck, North Dakota wind chills could plunge all the way down to -50 degrees Saturday night into Sunday morning. That is an absolutely extreme and life-threatening wind chill. Fargo wind chills could reach -45 to -50 degrees. At wind chills, this extreme and this dangerous, frostbite can develop in less than 5 minutes, potentially even faster, on any exposed skin. Minneapolis wind chills could drop to -35 to -40 degrees. Duluth -40 degrees. Aberdeen, South Dakota, -45 degrees. Sioux Falls, -40 degrees. Rapid City, -40 degrees. Grand Forks, -45 degrees. Even in areas that are south of the absolute worst cold, wind chills are still going to be quite dangerous and require serious precautions. Des Moines wind chills could reach -25 to -30 degrees. Omaha, -25 degrees. Sioux City, -30 degrees. Waterloo, Iowa, -30 degrees. Chicago wind chills Saturday night into Sunday morning around -15 to -20 degrees. Milwaukee, -25 degrees. Green Bay, -30 degrees. Madison, -30 degrees. Rockford, -20 degrees. Indianapolis wind chills could drop to -10 to -15 degrees. Fort Wayne, -10 degrees. South Bend, -15 degrees. Dayton, -5 to -10 degrees. Cincinnati, -5 to -10 degrees. These are genuinely dangerous wind chills that can cause frostbite very, very quickly on any exposed skin. With wind chills ranging from -30 to -50 degrees, we are talking about frostbite potentially developing in 10 minutes or less across most of the affected region, and in the absolutely coldest locations, frostbite could begin to develop in 5 minutes, or even less. This is absolutely not something to take lightly or dismiss. This is not cold where you can just quickly step outside for a minute without proper protection. If you absolutely must venture outside during this dangerous time period, you have to take proper precautions and protect yourself adequately. Every single inch of exposed skin must be covered. Start with a moisture-wicking base layer next to your skin. Add a thick insulating middle layer such as fleece or down. Top it all off with a windproof and waterproof outer shell layer to block the wind. Wear heavy insulated winter gloves, not just thin regular gloves. Wear a winter hat that completely covers your ears. Use a thick scarf, balaclava, or face mask to protect your face, nose, and mouth. Limit your time outdoors to only activities that are absolutely essential and necessary. If you must be outside for more than just a few minutes, make sure to take frequent warming breaks by going back indoors. Certain groups of people need to exercise extra caution and be especially careful during this extreme cold. Anyone who works outdoors for their job needs to take very frequent warming breaks and closely monitor themselves and coworkers for any signs of frostbite or hypothermia. People who rely on public transportation and have to wait outside for buses need to find shelter or have a solid plan for staying warm while waiting. Parents need to very closely supervise any children who go outside and strictly limit outdoor time. Elderly individuals need to be checked on regularly because their bodies do not regulate temperature as efficiently. Anyone with heart conditions or respiratory issues should remain indoors as much as humanly possible because extreme cold can trigger serious and potentially life-threatening health emergencies. The positive news is that if you take proper precautions, dress appropriately in layers, cover all exposed skin, and limit your exposure time, you can remain safe even in this extreme cold. The real danger comes from people who underestimate just how cold it is going to be, who do not realize how quickly frostbite can develop, or who venture outside unprepared without adequate protection. Now, let's discuss the snow accumulations because we have two separate clipper systems that are going to bring accumulating snow to a large geographic area. From the first clipper system that moves through Thursday afternoon into Friday morning, here are the snowfall totals you can expect. Indianapolis 3 to 5 inches, Fort Wayne 3 to 4 inches, Bloomington, Indiana 4 to 5 inches, Terre Haute 3 to 4 inches, in Illinois, Peoria 4 to 5 inches, Springfield 3 to 5 inches, Bloomington 3 to 4 inches, Champaign 2 to 4 inches, in Iowa, Cedar Rapids 2 to 4 inches, Davenport 3 to 4 inches, Iowa City 2 to 3 inches, Des Moines 2 to 3 inches, in Ohio, Cincinnati 3 to 4 inches, Dayton 2 to 3 inches, Columbus 1 to 3 inches, in Kentucky, Louisville 1 to 2 inches, Lexington 2 to 3 inches, Charleston, West Virginia 2 to 4 inches. When we add the second clipper system that arrives Saturday, total accumulations increase substantially. Indianapolis could see total snow of 5 to 8 inches from both systems combined. Cincinnati 6 to 8 inches total, Columbus 4 to 6 inches total, Dayton 4 to 6 inches total, Fort Wayne 4 to 6 inches total, Des Moines 4 to 6 inches total, Chicago 3 to 5 inches mainly from Saturday's system, Peoria 5 to 7 inches total, Bloomington, Illinois 5 to 7 inches total, Champaign 4 to 6 inches total. Additionally, lake effect snow will produce significant additional accumulations downwind of the Great Lakes. Western New York, south of Buffalo, could see 12 to 16 inches of lake effect snow. Areas south of Watertown and north of Syracuse could see 15 to 17 inches. Erie, Pennsylvania 8 to 12 inches. Western Michigan 6 to 10 inches in the heaviest lake effect bands. Travel is going to be extremely hazardous Thursday evening and again Saturday afternoon across all major transportation routes including Interstate 80, Interstate 70, Interstate 65, Interstate 75, and Interstate 90. If your travel is not essential or critical, postpone it until conditions improve substantially. After this dangerous Arctic outbreak passes through, we are looking at a dramatic pattern flip toward much warmer weather. By the middle of December, around December 18th, areas that are 40 degrees below average this weekend could be running 20 to 30 degrees above average. This significant warm pattern could potentially persist all the way through the Christmas holiday period. Here is exactly what you need to do to prepare properly. Today, Thursday, and tomorrow, Friday, are your critical action days for preparation. Get groceries and supplies for several days. Fill your vehicle gas tank completely. Pick up all necessary medications. Verify that your heating system is functioning properly. Have emergency supplies ready including flashlights, extra batteries, warm blankets, and non-perishable food. Saturday through Sunday morning, remain at home if at all possible. Saturday, the snow creates dangerous travel. Sunday morning, the extreme cold makes even being outside hazardous. For your vehicle, if you absolutely must travel, full tank of gas, ice scraper and snow brush, small folding shovel, sand or kitty litter for traction if stuck, comprehensive emergency kit with multiple warm blankets and extra layers of warm clothing, working flashlight with extra batteries, reliable phone charger, sufficient food and water for 24 hours, basic first aid kit. Make sure to let someone know your complete travel route and expected arrival time. For your home, verify your heating system is working properly right now. Have backup heating sources ready, but never ever use generators or grills indoors due to carbon monoxide danger. Have working flashlights and plenty of extra batteries ready for potential power outages. Stock up on extra food and water for at least 3 full days. Make absolutely certain you have all necessary prescription medications. Charge all electronic devices fully before the storm. Know the exact locations of warming centers in your area. In case of heating failure, have a solid plan for communicating with family if power goes out. Check on elderly neighbors to make sure they have adequate heat and sufficient supplies. Bring all outdoor pets inside. Do not leave any animals outside in this life-threatening cold. Make absolutely certain that everyone in your household understands the complete plan for staying safe and warm. This is a serious and dangerous multi-day weather event with life-threatening cold and hazardous snow, but if you prepare properly starting right now and take all necessary precautions, you and your family will be fine and will get through this safely. The real danger comes from being unprepared or from underestimating just how severe the conditions are going to be. Take this forecast seriously. Respect the dangerous cold. Respect the hazardous travel conditions. Be fully prepared. We will continue monitoring this evolving situation closely and provide regular updates. I will have another complete forecast for you tomorrow, Friday, with any changes to the timing or snowfall amounts and the very latest information on the temperature forecast. Make sure you stay well informed and do not miss any important updates as this situation continues to develop. Stay safe out there, everyone. Look out for each other. Check on your neighbors, especially the elderly and vulnerable. Be prepared, not scared, and we will see you in the next forecast.